Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Lockdown Cupboard Cocktail Challenge. In these, I'm making the most of what a distant friend of mine tells me they have in their booze collection, plus also their fridge and their cupboard. And once again, I'm working with my friend Rebecca in North London. Now, I've experimented with what I have in my own home that comes as close as possible to matching the ingredients from Rebecca's home that she's told me about and I've chosen. And tonight I am making a new drink called the Tracey Paul in honour of our mutual friend. The theme here is German Christmas market, which I know Tracey loves. So think mulled wine and Stollen, lovely nutty Stollen. Now in Rebecca's booze and cupboards collection in North London, she has some port and sherry, which I have some at home as well. Nice variety, and she's got Madeira as well, so think fortified wine. Anything you've got that's fortified wine, or even a good stiff red wine or a red dessert wine. Rebecca also has some plums, some fresh plums, which she's going to get the juice out of by muddling, crushing, but I don't have any fresh plums here. At home, it's locked down. I've got lemons, oranges, and limes, and those don't come close. So instead I'm going to use some plum booze. I will have a bit more non-alcoholic in mind to balance Rebecca's, because she'll be using fresh plums, whereas I'm using a gin or a vodka or a plum liqueur. Loving all of these. I'm going to go with the plum and vanilla gin-based liqueur, because I think it's lush. And the third main ingredient from Rebecca's list is she's got a half-empty 15-year-old bottle of walnut liqueur. Walnut liqueur. God knows why. And where the hell am I supposed to find walnut liqueur in the middle of lockdown, in the middle of a weekend, without leaving the house? Well, of course, by walking 8 feet to my drinks cupboard, I'm picking up my walnut liqueur. Once I've moved past the hazelnut liqueur, the pistachio cream liqueur, the almond liqueur, and yes, even the acorn liqueur. But Rebecca's got walnut liqueur, so that's what I'm going with. So, the main 3 flavours of this are fortified wine. I'm going with a Pedro Jimenez sherry, raisiny sweet goodness. A plum and vanilla liqueur, in Rebecca's case some crushed plums. And a walnut liqueur. Now, if you don't have walnut liqueur because you're not a freak, then amaretto is easy to get hold of, or get some walnuts and crush them up and mix them and strain them later, or even stir in a teaspoonful of marzipan or even peanut butter to the mix. Strain it really carefully so you don't get chunky lumps in it, but it might make it a bit cloudy, but it'll still get you the flavour that you're after. Nutty goodness. So, grape, plum and walnut. Now, because I'm using a walnut liqueur, I'm going to add a little bit more non-alcoholic to my recipe than I'm going to suggest for Rebecca. So those 3 things, plus some apple juice. Now, this really is a mulled drink. So you should have your pan out. You should get your spices. You know, I should have some nutmeg to grate with my nutmeg grater, star anise, cinnamon sticks, nutmegs, clove, whatever, but I haven't got any of those. So, and it's, as you can tell by the Hawaiian shirt, a glimpse of, it's really warm here, so I'm going to make an iced version of this instead. And to capture the kind of spicy flavours from the cinnamon and the cloves and the ginger, which I'm not adding, I am going to use a tiny bit of fiery cinnamon sambuca liqueur and a ginger liqueur. But you can just use cinnamon sticks to flavour it and take them out, ginger, whatever you've got that you'd normally use for mulled wine. So, take a stirring receptacle with some ice and put into this 1 measure each of your fortified wine, in my case Pedro Jimenez sherry. Oh, glug, 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 raisiny goodness. Oh, look at it. It's like tar. The lungs from a smoker. 1 full measure of, and I've tested this, being all sciencey with, you know, trying to get the measures right. 1 measure of walnut liqueur, or if you haven't got that, like I say, amaretto, or teaspoonful in there of crushed up nut, walnut, whatever, or teaspoonful of peanut butter even, or almond paste, marzipan. Stir in, and when you strain it, you'll get rid of the lumps after, but we'll give it that flavour. And 1 measure of plum juice, which you will have got by crushing your fresh plums. Or in my case, opening one of several bottles of plum liqueur. This one, plum and vanilla flavoured liqueur. Equal measures of those 3 flavours, I think, gives the right balance. Now, you might not be able to see from there, but it's not even mixing straight away. You can see darker, cloudy bits from the sherry. So, 2 measures for me, because I've used boozy plum instead of real plum. So Rebecca, I'm going to suggest 1 measure, but for me, 2 measures of apple juice. I don't actually have any plain apple juice. This is apple and elderflower, but apple juice. Clear, cloudy, it doesn't matter. Stir. You do not need to shake this. You'll get a little bit of melted water from the ice. You'll get a little bit more if you shake it, but it's an affectation. You do not need to. All you really need to do is stir it to blend it, strain it, and if you've got peanut butter in there, you would want a fine strainer. You might even want to strain it twice into something else before serving it, in my case, into a Marie Antoinette coupe glass. Possibly chilled from the fridge or freezer. And it will come out looking, I don't know, what does this look like? What is this colour of brown? Raisin, nut, plum. The Tracey Paul. So, if you haven't got a Marie Antoinette coupe glass, serve it in any old glass you like, serve it in a teacup. Spirit of the Blitz. Go with what works. So, enjoy responsibly. Send in the contents of your own cupboard and fridge and booze collection to join in with this challenge. And stay safe during lockdown.